Bruh.
I don't know what Oda was smoking, but Oda for SBS 105 decided to unload, and the fandom is in a tizzy. At the beginning of March, Oda has decided to choose violence. This SBS has content pertaining to, let's say, Sanji and Chopper and Tama, which I'm going to target in some videos. Let's talk about the main meat here. The reason why you clicked on this video in the first place. When the news dropped, my artist told me, great, because now we don't have to deal with any more of these Zoro is a clone of Ryoma theory videos. That was always ridiculous, and the clone stuff has been kind of running amok. But we're done with that stuff because Oda dropped the bombshell of Zoro's family tree. Oh man, this is controversial without a doubt, because even though in the past, like for example, in SBS 96, we did get details about the creation of the Shimotsuki village and Kuina and so on and so forth. And in the last SBS 104, we did get some intel about Kid's backstory and how Kid, Killer, Heat, and Wire formed their pirate crew. But Zoro's different. Zoro's always been different. He always hits different, even for your boy. Not a fanboy, but a fan nonetheless. And an SBS dump of Zoro's family tree, I can definitely see bars being controversial. So let's get right into it. What did Oda drop? Well, Oda said there were many questions regarding Zoro's bloodline. I don't think there is any need to elaborate on the future. Let me get it right. Elaborate on it further. So I will just announce it here. And then from here, we do bounce over to Arter, who made a pretty well formatted, translated picture breaking it all down. So, Oda, Zoro's family tree. 55 years ago, Shimotsuki Kozaburo made Waro Ichimonji and Enma, crafted for Oden at the age of 4, because again, remember, Oden was a Chad. Oden, before he hit double digits, was already hitting the brothels. So the only thing you can say to the Chad of Wano is let him cook. Then after this, in a group of 25 people, he set sail from Wano. This includes Ushimaru's older sister, Furiko, and the carpenter, Minatomo, who was revealed in SBS Volume 7. There's actually a person in Wano country who has the exact same design and name. 52 years ago, in the East Blue, they defeat in battle a group of mountain bandits attacking a village. Then 10 of them decide to settle here. Together, they create Shimotsuki Village. And then we find out the family breakdown from here. So we have Shimotsuki Kozaburo, then we have a girl from the village, unnamed, they hitch, and then Shimotsuki Kyosho is born, who is of course the first mentor, master of Zoro. He marries an unnamed woman, and then they have a daughter, Shimotsuki Kuina, who had an unfortunate but infamous accident when she was walking down the stairs, because while she was walking down the steps, Imu created extra steps that tripped up Kuina. Imu eliminated the most major threat to its existence in the future, without a doubt. But then, here's where the bombshell drops. The Zoro family side of things here. Shimotsuki Furiko is Shimotsuki Ushimaru's older sister. The same Ushimaru who, of course, we see in the land of Wano, who was one of the daimyos of the land of Wano and was in the cave with Yamato way back when. She gets hitched with a man named Ronora Pinzoro. Very, very creative. Inner Cole here. It actually is more than you would think, but we'll tackle that later on in the video. He is a swordsman from that village and, of course, Zoro's grandfather. They give birth to Ronora Arashi, who died in battle against pirates, apparently. So the pirate hunter, Zoro, avenging the legacy of the family. And he got hit with a girl named Terra, the daughter of some bandits. And when I first saw the name Terra, I thought to myself immediately, Terra from Teen Titans Terra? Is that why Zoro has green hair? Because Beast Boy actually got the job done? Hey, yo! But those are Zoro's parents. And then Terra died of an illness at some point in the past. And then there is that final paragraph on the bottom that says this: that ship that set sail from Wano country included Shimotsuki Furiko, whose older brother was the former daimyo of Ringo, Shimotsuki Ushimaru. And by the way, Art already said that was a mistake because, again, she's Ushimaru's older sister. But nonetheless, the man who referred to himself as so-and-so when he met a young Yamato. He is the descendant of Shimotsuki Ryoma, the samurai of legend of Wano Country, who Zoro met in Thriller Bark. So if you put 2 and 2 together, that means, well, that's as far as I'll say.
What?
Even Zoro himself isn't aware of this very, very strange fairy tale. Obviously, you put 2 and 2 together, Zoro is a descendant of Shimotsuki Ryoma, which a lot of us were already expecting, but now we have confirmation through the latest SBS. Unless the family tree is actually a fake out and Arashi and Terra actually adopted Zoro.
Crazy.
Uh-oh. But there are a few things that I do want to talk about that a lot of folks may have actually gandered here or there. Number one, have you noticed that Roronoa Arashi, his hair kind of reminds you in a way of Mihawk's hair? I'm just gonna keep it a stack. I'm looking at what I'm seeing of what Oda drew, and it really does remind me of Mihawk. I'm not saying that Mihawk is now a part of the Shimotsuki bloodline, but maybe somewhere along the road and blah, blah, blah. The reason I say is this, okay? The reason why I say is because of this, okay? 25 people set sail from Wano Country, and 10 of them decide to settle in the East Blue that became Shimotsuki Village. What happened to the other 15? Huh? What happened to the other 15? One of the things Oda has done, obviously, is make a character that's very similar to Kuina, and that is Tashigi. The other 15 people could have easily have settled elsewhere in the world, and maybe one of them is the great-grandmother or great-grandfather of Tashigi. So that's all number one. Number two is that in other parts in the world of One Piece at times, we do see these sort of Edo-themed Japanese places. Like, for example, what comes to mind, because obviously cats know I'm a big fanboy of this, the NL cover story. Keep it stack. In the NL cover story, Dr. Tsukimi lives on Vegapunk's home island, the same place that Frankie was before the time skip in the country of Baltimore. And at the beginning of the NL cover story, Dr. Tsukimi's whole setup is Japanese themed. Where'd that come from? The country of Baltimore, as far as we know, had nothing to do with Wano Country. But why is in the cover story, Dr. Tsukimi's setup, his home, is Japanese Wano Country themed? Is it possible that he is also someone that used to live in Wano Country, but with these 25 other individuals, he set sail from Wano Country? Let's say he's a relative of someone like Fukurokuju. Oh, expand your mind. With One Piece, sometimes you have to be a little open-minded, okay? Could I be capping? Yes, obviously. But one way or another, we will get to the moon. And then finally, number three here, when it comes to things that you may not know, is that according to Sandman of Arlong Park on his Twitter page, he explains that the names of Zoro's family are all related to Japanese traditional dice gambling. So he says, and I quote, Pin Zoro, the grandfather, are double ones. Furiko, the grandmother, is a person who rolls the dice. Arashi, the father, is triple same numbers. And then Terra, the mother, is Terrazeni, vigorish, a type of charge taken by gambling companies. Now, this is particularly very intriguing. Why? Because in Wano Country, anime, in the manga, it's skipped, and we just see Zoro with Tonoyasu, that's it. But in the anime, there is a full-on dice gambling scene with Zoro, a few randoms, Tonoyasu is there as well. And it's in that additional anime content that some folks would argue we see Zoro use for the first time Conqueror's Haki, where he does some sort of sword attack, but the end result is knocking out all those dudes from range. It's a bit strange. But ultimately speaking, that scene does exist, and it does make you wonder, did Oda have an influence there to actually incorporate that scene with Zoro and the dice gambling scene in the anime, because mainly his family he had envisioned were all related to dice gambling in some way. That would be interesting, and it would kind of once again reaffirm the idea that Oda for Wano Country was giving the directors and Toei some notes here or there to add and change and X, Y, and Z and the other. So all in all, the intel is pretty intriguing when it comes to Zoro's family lineage. And obviously the main takeaway here is that Zoro is a definitive descendant of the sword god Ryoma. It is what it is. But obviously when it comes to the controversy, the issue is it a good idea? Is it a good decision for Oda to release this intel about Zoro in an SBS and not in the canon manga itself?
Oh, hell no.
You can infer a lot as to why Oda really wants to give us intel in SBS. Like, for example, the last arc, Wano Country, would have been the best time to reveal all this intel. However, there was so much going on in Wano Country, so many different characters, that Oda just couldn't give everyone things to do. Denjiro literally goes MIA for an extended amount of time. We have no idea where he is. And remember, once Green Bull comes into the fray, we have a 1 month break for Oda to like consolidate certain things of the story. This is where we have the Road to Laugh Tale stuff, and I believe it's at this point in time that Oda made the call to not have Yamato join the crew immediately. And as a result, various things are skipped or sped over. Like, for example, you are supposed to have a celebratory drink and so on with Jinbei because Jinbei was finally joining the crew and gonna be on the damn ship. We don't get that at the end of Wano Country. That does not happen. Of course, Zoro visiting Ryoma's grave? Yeah? That also does not happen. But when you think about it, wouldn't that have been like a great opportunity? Like a great chance for having Zoro's family tree when he is literally praying in front of Ryoma's grave? Oda could have easily had a moment with Zoro, with Hiri, and with Sukiyaki at Ryoma's grave, and Sukiyaki like broke it all down. That would have been a great time, but that makes Wano Country longer. And Wano Country was already, 4+ years deep. So that could be one way of interpreting the reason why Oda did what he did. We are in the final saga of the story right now, and there's so much to get to that Oda may feel like he doesn't have any good time to splice in Zoro's family lineage in the future of the story. And since Wano Country was probably the best time to get it done, might as well get it done in an SBS. I myself, I'm not a big fan of Oda revealing this stuff in SBSs. I would much rather this stuff be in the canon manga itself. However, Oda did say before that when it comes to Zoro's lineage, this is a minor story point. It's not a major one, it's a minor one. So in his mind, not a big deal at all to reveal this stuff in an SBS. And ultimately, it looks like the way Oda views Zoro's parents and grandparents is the same way he views Luffy's mother. Because, here we go. Remember that in 2020, there was an interview with the voice actress of Luffy, Tanaka Mayumi, and Eiichiro Oda. And then she, in that interview, explained that she was curious about Luffy's mother, but then Oda replied to her and said, a young man's adventure begins after he leaves his mother's arms. I want to tell the story of this young boy's adventure, so mothers don't play a part of it. So don't be surprised that in the future, Oda decides to reveal Luffy's mother, even his grandmother, in an SBS. Don't be surprised if we have the same thing for Frankie's parents, for I guess Jinbei's parents, for Nami's biological parents. This could all be dedicated to SBS because in the final saga, there are much more important things to tackle. I'd much rather be in the manga, but I suppose in the grand scheme of things, it's okay getting it as long as we get it. That's how I see it so far. But let me know your thoughts on the topic at hand. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to rate the video with a thumbs up, with a subscription, and click on that bell to join the notification squad. I'm gonna catch you cats on the flip side.